Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. To be updating my sinking funds, and this is always an exciting video for me to record because I love updating my trackers and seeing my progress. And even though this month or this particular week during this month there's not that much of a drastic change in my savings, I still like to go over it and make sure that I'm tracking, even if the progress is super small to really great progress. That way you can go back and you can see if there's a month or a week where you weren't able to contribute as much to your savings, or maybe you even racked up a little bit of debt. It's always good to keep a record of that just so you can kind of, review that later in the year and see where you maybe struggled, and if you can pinpoint the reasons or come up with some solutions of maybe why you had those struggles or what you can do moving forward to avoid that. So I have my bullet journal here, which I have a tracker in, and then I have trackers in my budget planner that I use. This is a tool notebook cover, but inside is a happy planner in the big size. It was an 18-month planner that I purchased last year. So I just put that in here, and I put the tool notebook cover on some happy planner discs. So I do get questions about that very often, kind of what makes up this particular budget planner. And that's it. It's just those three components. So metal discs, happy planner big inside, and this nice tool notebook cover that I really am glad that I picked up because I believe that it is still discontinued. But you can always check the corners of the internet. You never know what you're going to stumble upon, whether it's eBay or even Office Depot or Office Max website. So let's go in and see where we left off. I just have to back this up a little bit so I can open it up entirely. Let's go to this week's budget layout. And as you can see here, I have my sinking funds all listed, and I did contribute a little bit of money, nowhere near what I was able to do last month. Last month was a unicorn financially for me. I had so many different things going on in different components that really elevated our income, even though we are in this really weird predicament of my husband having lost his job and me taking a pay cut. August was still a great month for us. I'm sorry, July was still a great month for us. August is kind of back to normal and really reflecting those hits. So while we're not bringing in as much money, I still wanted to be able to put something toward our savings, if at all possible. And I was able to add $50 to my Christmas club, which brought it to $1,000. I kept dogs where it was at, savings where it was at, and then emergency funds, I was able to add $220. So I don't really think I'll be able to add anything more for this month because today is already August 25th. I do get paid this Friday, but a lot of that is going to be going toward our bills because I pay our bills 1 month in advance. As you can see down here, this is what I came up with. I'm at $1,300, so I really need my paycheck to reach the $2,650. Now it's pretty much $2,750 that we have going out a month because we have the Home Depot credit card. So if you are curious, we do not have any credit card debt aside from our Home Depot credit card, which was a new debt. I opened a credit card with them so I could receive a discount on some flooring that we purchased, and my husband laid the flooring down, so we saved on labor, but still I wanted to use that credit card just to get the discount and also to get the 6 months no interest financing. So that's what I'm working with, and I need to make sure that I concentrate on paying Home Depot down even more so than my sinking funds right now, because as you know, if you've ever used a credit card that gives you an allotted period of time, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to pay something off without interest, if you go even a day past that deadline, you will have all the interest accumulate. So I really have to be careful and keep my eye on the calendar. So here's where I'm at balance-wise, and we're gonna turn back to the trackers in this notebook, and I'm just gonna use a highlighter this time to color in. And let's see where we were. This is an old debt tracker. I really like to hold on to things like this because even though this debt is already paid and done and you know, over and done with, it's still not forgotten by me. I don't ever want to end up in a place like this. This is one of 2 massive credit card debts that we paid off since like 2018. So I like to keep a track of it and keep that in my budget planner as a reminder and also as a reflection on progress. I think that it's twofold. It reminds me that I don't want to go back to that kind of financial situation, but it also gives me a little bit of an uplift because I realize, wow, I've come a long way. And it's really good to give yourself some positive reinforcement, even when times are tough and, you know, you may be struggling and not doing as well as before, previous months, previous years, whatever the case may be. You can still find some kind of positivity in what you're doing with your budget if you're budgeting. So I think that is really key to, you know, moving forward and making sure that you don't get discouraged. All right, so I'm going to color in with this little highlighter. I do have these linked down below. They are the cutest little mini highlighters, but they really pack a punch when it comes to color, and they're very inexpensive. So I got this set, and again, they're linked along with a lot of other products that I use or talk about in my videos. You can always find them in the description. All right, so let's see where we're at. Christmas Club, $1,000. Okay, so before I go bananas and start coloring, let me write down today's date. So I'm gonna write down 8/25/20, just to reflect when I was able to reach this little milestone. So my goal, as you can see, and this is a very, very amateur, rudimentary drawn trackers that I create myself. As you can see, they're very kind of chaotic and, you know, lots of color and things like that, but this is just for fun for me. It's just for me to look back upon. And so I like to be a little bit more like, I don't know, free with it and, you know, just kind of make them look more fun. But as you can see, my goal here is $1,500. Now, will I reach that by the time I need to start my Christmas shopping? I really don't know. Being how August has been going for us and, you know, the way this month has presented itself and what we've had to do to make things work, I just am not certain that going into September, that by the end of November, we will reach 1,500. But I'm going to try. I really am. I'm going to try to get there, because if you set a goal for yourself, you know, the point of it is to actually reach it. So that is going to be something that I really work on and I am diligent about. So I'm able to color in all these squares. The last time I updated this was on August 4th. So that's why it's really helpful to write the date down if you're doing any kind of tracker, because you can see how long it took you to get this progress complete. So since August 4th to today, that was about 21 days. I was able to save an additional $250 toward this goal. So I went from $850 to $1,000, and yeah, that's an extra $250. So I think that's pretty good, especially given what August has shown itself to us financially. But it's okay. It's all good. We're going to we're gonna come through it on the other side, and things are going to be okay. So for our emergency funds, we're at $92.70. Now, this poses a little bit, not of a problem, but I can color up to 9,200. I can't color in 9,300 because I only have 9,270. So even though I have $70 toward that goal, I still can't color that block. So I'm gonna write 8/25/20 here. And the last time I was able to color in, I was at 8,600. So that is actually $600 extra. So I've really put in $670, but as far as coloring in goes, I can color in $600 worth of squares. So I'm really, really happy with that. I think that that is really great progress. As you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, the most important sinking fund to me is this emergency fund. Given what has gone on with my job, you know, taking a $400 pay cut per month and my husband just losing his job altogether, this was a really important one for me to concentrate on. And I will be completely honest with you guys and tell you that prior to Prior to this time in my life, I think, prior to August of 2020, I had never saved an emergency fund of this magnitude. So I've always, attempted it, and I put a little bit away, and then I would take some out and I would use it for something else that was not considered an emergency. It was just spending or paying off something, but I just never was able to get here. And I can honestly say that I feel so good about this, and it's giving me such a deeper sense of security financially, because I know that if we have to tap into this, if there is, some kind of emergency that we are just not able to meet financially, that this money is here for me to use. Now, can I use this to pay off Home Depot if I don't meet the deadline, for this credit card offer that I had? No, I won't do that. That would be a hard slap on the hand for me to take, but it's of my own doing. So if I make mistakes, I have to deal with them. I can't use the emergency fund for that. Now, that's how I treat my emergency fund, but you guys have to do whatever is right for you. And for some people, it means something different. For me, it means literally we don't have the money coming in to make our bills. It doesn't mean, like I used Home Depot's credit card as an example, that I screwed up and I just wasn't able to meet the deadline of the no interest deal. No, I can't do that. So I'm really treating this with the gravity and severity that it deserves in my life, and I'm just going to try and do my best to respect those rules that I've set up for myself. All right, so let's go and deal with the dogs. We don't have that much of a difference, and poor little pugs, they're not getting much attention financially, but we did have to just pay I think it was quite a substantial vet bill for one of our dogs, but I didn't take it out of here. Now, you may be wondering, if you have a sinking fund for your dogs, why did you pay the vet out of your paycheck? The reason why I did that is because until we meet this goal, just as a personal choice and my feeling about this, I don't really want to draw from these funds. So I know that maybe sounds, counterproductive to some of you, but you're still taking it from your paycheck. It doesn't make sense. And I totally understand that type of outlook. But for me, I just feel guilty, and I don't feel right taking money from here if I can make it work with my paycheck and use my paycheck to pay it. So if I would have taken that, it was over $200. That would have really made this fund take a hit, and I didn't want to do that. So I am pressing forward, and even though I'm not putting a lot into this fund, I am still in the positive as far as I'm concerned about it. So the only thing that I can really color in is I'm at $535. So this block here is $530. The next one is $540. So I can't color that one in. So I'm going to color in 3 blocks up to $530. And that's okay with me. I think that just given the fact that I haven't drawn from it, and also that I've been able to put anything into this is, it's just making me happy. So like I said, poor little pugs, they're not getting all the financial attention they deserve. Now, if they had their way, I have 3 hungry, food aggressive little pugs. They would like me to probably use this entire fund on Soffy treats. That's what we call the treats that we buy them, because they are soft chew, and that's the ones they prefer because they're getting older and their little teeth are giving them some issues and problems. So we call them Soffy chews. All right, so for savings, we're at $2,600. Now, I can only color in 1 block, but that's okay because you know what? That's progress. So no complaints, and I'm not going to beat myself up about, not saving more, or, how could I have let all this time go by and only save $100? It's really not what it's about. We all do the best that we can, and as long as we're moving in a positive direction, that is what it's all about. That is a success. So like I said, don't beat yourself up if you're in the same position that I'm in and you're really, kind of struggling a little bit, or things are just different for you financially and you're trying to get used to. I know it's an overused term, but you're trying to get used to a new normal. Don't beat yourself up, because we're all just trying to do our best and make do with the situation at hand. So that is my savings fund. Now for our taxes, we still have $1,725 in the tax fund, and I have not put anything to that. The only thing I really set aside for that was YouTube and Grubhub. And this week I am going to get paid from Grubhub because I started doing my deliveries again last week, but I will add to it at that point. So for YouTube, I just didn't. Now, is that going to cause me a problem next year when it come tax time? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really concerning myself too much about that because we always get a refund, and I think that a lot of that is going to offset the extra taxes that we owe this year. So let's go back and see where we're at with this tracker. Now, this is in my bullet journal, and this is something that I will be migrating into my new journal once I get that. Now it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if you saw my bullet journal update video, but it was supposed to be here by tonight, and I got an email from Amazon saying it'll be here tomorrow night. So that's okay. I just was really anxious to get started and updating it, but it'll have to wait until tomorrow. So this is a little bit different. I don't have as much room, and when you have less room, you have less ability to make all the squares you want to make. So if I had my choice, I would literally make a square for every dollar because I just think it's so satisfying to color in those squares or areas, you know, as you make your progress. But this didn't really allow me much room, so the only one that I can color in is 9,000 right here because my emergency fund is at 9270, and after that the next block is 9450, so I'm nowhere near that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put today's date here. So this is 8/25/20. My pen tip is just a little bit too broad for this. It looks really messy. What a coloring job there. Holy moly. I guess it's because maybe I was going quickly or it was in this seam right here, but I'm just going to highlight this little square here, and that's that. Not very satisfying, but still progress is progress, and I'm surprised that I was actually able to color in anything on that one. All right, so savings funds, we are at 2,600, and the next block, I was at 2,475 the last time I colored. The next one is 2,700, so I can't color anything there, which is a bummer, but that's okay. Christmas Club, okay, I can color up until 980. I don't have 1,015, so I can't do that, but I can certainly color up to 980. So I'm going to mark today's date here, and I'm just going to highlight these little squares, or squares, blocks, rectangles, and that'll be that. So that's pretty cool. All right, that makes me feel good. Now for the dogs, I can only color in one square here too because the next one is 550 and I only have 535. So let me go ahead and do this, and there we go. All right, so I'm gonna be making a whole new tracker once I set up my new bullet journal, and my new bullet journal is going to be for September through December. I'm super excited about it because I have lots of ideas for my layouts. I know that that's not what this journal or this video is about, but this is kind of what my journal was looking like before, and if you're interested, I'm going to do regular updates of this and, you know, have this content out there for those of you who love to journal, or maybe you have a bullet journal, or maybe you're thinking about it. I do give lots of information on the actual notebook that I use and, you know, what goes into my thought process doing this. So the other thing that I can do, you know what, I think I'm going to wait. I think that I can color in a block for my home mortgage payoff. Talk about slow-moving ship. Goodness, I mean, it takes so long to bring the balance down, especially we had refinanced our home, another 30-year loan. I could kick myself for not going to 15 years, but we had refinanced in 2017 before I even had this channel. And I'm telling you, once you refinance, you're kind of starting over with the interest being in the beginning again. So your payments are for the most part just going toward interest, and you don't make that much of a dent in the principal. So that's why it takes so long for your balance to come down in the first few years, however many years. So that's that. But anyways, this is my bullet journal. So yeah, I will be creating another debt tracker, or not debt tracker. Oh goodness, I don't want to go back there. Another savings tracker in that when I set it up. So that is the progress I have, and that is how I keep track of it in both my budget planner and my bullet journal. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I really want to get back into the planning side of things like I was doing at the beginning of this channel. I hope that you guys are interested in that. I know that those aren't as popular, like the bullet journal videos aren't as popular, but if there's anybody out there who is interested in that, just know that I'm going to kind of rejuvenate those kinds of videos here on my channel, just so I have some extra content to do and to show you guys. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and would like to give it a big thumbs up, that really helps my channel. And of course, I hope you're all doing well and that I see you next time. Take care.